Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bible study. Today, we are going to have a short Bible study about Zacchaeus. And I entitled Zacchaeus Come Down. All right, let's dive in. So, we are in Luke 19, verses 1 to 10. It's about Zacchaeus, the tax collector. And I know we are in the month of April where we have to finish the taxes, but it's not the reason that I picked up this one. It's uh, like to know how a person, no matter where it is and what they do, they still can come to Jesus. All right, so we have verse 1. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. Wow. So there was a way of going from Jericho to Jerusalem. And is listed in the Bible, I think, even after Jesus died and showed to his disciples on that road. So there was a road. What Jericho tells you? Jericho, it was when the first time when Hebrew, as a Jewish people coming from the land of Egypt and try to get into the Holy Land, they encountered Jericho with very thick and high, big walls. It was hard to conquer those walls. And God gave Joshua strategies how to do it. So, Jesus was in that specific land. So at the end, well, the walls came down, miracles, mysteriously, I would say, miracle by God's hand, and Jewish people entered. Excuse me. And entered the land, the Holy Land. Okay, so but that's a different Bible study. We are just going to see like where Jesus was and where this was taking place. It was then those walls came down. Okay, now a man was there. So I'm in verse 2. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. So it tells you the name, the story tells you the name, that his name was Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. As we know from the Bible that tax collectors were not too friendly to people. They would just suck the money out of people. No matter how poor they were, they're still getting money. Now, he was on the top of everybody else. So he was the boss of the tax collectors. And he would collect money, extra money, and he would put in his pocket. And it's how he got wealthy. He might not be like an old man with lots of wealth. He probably was, he could be a very young man, or maybe mid age, like maybe I say maybe in the 40s. We don't know that the Bible doesn't mention it, but he was wealthy, and not because Roman Empire paid him as being a tax collector and being the boss on the tax collectors, paying him lots of money to be there. He was taking illegally from people who didn't have enough, people that maybe, or maybe he was like in the wrong way. Maybe says, okay, I will get you less taxes to pay, but you have to give me, you have to bribe me with that much. And I will go into his pocket. We don't know how he did it, but he did not come wealthy from just from his paycheck, I would say. All right, verse 3. He wanted to see who Jesus was. And that's the first thing that got him far. He was curious. So, curiosity is not a bad thing, curiosity is a good thing. He heard about Jesus. Jesus healed. Jesus did this. Jesus, like all these miracles. Everybody's talking about Jesus. And then he's like, who is Jesus? Where is he? So he heard that Jesus is going to pass through. People say like, hey, Jesus is going to pass through Jericho. He goes to Jerusalem. So what happened next? And say he wanted to see who Jesus was. His curiosity. He didn't care about money, miracles, nothing like that. He was just curious, like, okay, let me see who Jesus is. But because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. He was a short man, much shorter than anybody average people. So he was too short, and whenever Jesus passed, he would not be able to see Jesus. He could be that he missed several times. We don't know. The Bible doesn't say that Jesus passed so many times. He was not able to see it because he was too short. He knew he was short and he had to do something about it. So, verse 4, he ran ahead when he knew, and probably is like Jesus passing, he's going to see where, to see Jesus. But imagine you are like a child, a small child. You try to see Jesus, and all this crowd is following Jesus, and you are not able to see because you are on the lower side. So he ran ahead of time. He ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. How he knew it? It was a road that I say is from Jericho to Jerusalem. So there's nowhere he can pass anywhere else if he got on that road. Okay? And what is a sycamore fig tree? I was thinking so many times in my mind when I was thinking about this passage, how a small man like him climbed up on the tree and he got on the top of like somewhere up high that he could see Jesus. How come if he's a short man? Unless you have a ladder to get all the way up. And always you see this story and then you see even in cartoons, they make him like he's all the way top, almost to the top, to see Jesus from there. It was not like that. Sycamore tree is a fig tree, and the trunk is much shorter. I put it on the lower part, so towards the right side. So the way the picture didn't kind of come. It's a short trunk. I can climb it. You can climb it. Even a child can climb it. It's a short trunk. You just hold it and you get on the first branch, and it's lower branch, but you're still higher than other people, and you can see from above people. It was may not be that tall like that one, but or maybe close. It could be a little bit lower, so when people would pass by, he could still see him over there. So that's a fig tree. So it was in that time sycamore fig tree. I did not hear those kind of fig trees anymore. Might be just in the old time, but not recently. They have different names and different kind of trees, but that's more like a it's a tree. Right now they make it more like bushes that they have like in the middle. You put and it's just one, but from there comes several like that up. You cannot sit on that one, but this was like a tree. All right, let's move on. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. Wow. So when Jesus came and reached the spot when Zacchaeus was up there, I'll say maybe above his head, but what was in the tree, he saw it. You cannot hide from Jesus. The good thing about Zacchaeus is he is searching into it. So this is it gives us a clue. If you do want to come to Jesus, you gotta search. You have to be curious who Jesus is, search who he is, and come closer to see him. But I'll say to see him, you gotta get closer to Jesus. You want to see him, you want to know who he is, you want to experience Jesus. He did all those steps. Zacchaeus did all the steps. He opened his heart. It's you open your heart to know who Jesus is, curious. I want to know who is this man. I want to just search into it. I want to see how he looks like. I want to see, I want to feel it. I want to. When you do those things, Jesus comes and stops by you. Jesus reached the spot and looked to him. He looked up where Zacchaeus was. Jesus will look to you because you are searching who he is and you want to know more about Jesus. He will come and he will look to you and he will say, for example, he will say, Carmen, come down immediately. I might stay in your house today. Wow. Because you want to know who Jesus is and you search Jesus, you invite Jesus in, and he will say, I want to stay with you. That makes sense? He actually, without even knowing, he invited Jesus with his curiosity. Will be lots of people. I think there were lots of people. They want to get healed, sick people. They want to be just touch him, touch his clothing, touch his hem of the. He has a now in this picture, specific one. He has the tali, the praying shawl is around his neck, around his shoulders. So he has a praying shawl, and some people want to touch that. If he like put it a little lower, he will touch those fringes to get healed. But Zacchaeus was, I would say, more blessed at that time. And so, verse 6, so he came down at once. He did not object that, like, no, why should I come down? I'm doing fine up here. I'm doing fine. No, he already opened his heart for Jesus. When you search for Jesus, your heart gets open. And so he came down at once. Immediately he came down, as Jesus said, come immediately down and welcome him gladly. So Zacchaeus welcomed Jesus. It's more like welcome him into your heart. Because I say, when you search for him, for Jesus, he makes sure you will find him. And then he's coming, godly coming, you welcome him, Jesus, into your heart. It's how I see it is relating with this passage. Verse 7, all the people saw this and began to mutter, he has gone to be the guest of a sinner. So always people, they look behind and they have something bad to say. But I would say, ignore those bad words. Ignore who say what. It's going to be just you and Jesus, nobody else. Let's go on. Verse 8. I wanted you to see the transformation. Verse 8. But Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord. He stood up and said to the Lord, look, Lord, here and now, I give half of my possessions to the poor. I don't think he was married, but at this point, even though he wouldn't care, because that the wife would say like, why did such thing without asking me? But he was, when Jesus come into your heart, you see the transformation of person. So he was, if he was greedy, all of a sudden he's not anymore. He was, I say, it doesn't say extremely wealthy, he was wealthy. So he has money to give out. I put that old man with lots of money there. He may not be like that. He may be, like I say, middle age. I don't know. He's like writing there, like how much he collected. But he opened his heart. As Jesus came into his heart, he said, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor. And if I have cheated, because he did, for sure he did, he will not acquire so much wealth if he will not cheat. So if I have cheated anybody out of anything, he was cheating people. He put more. He told them to give more, and then a part of it he will keep it. It's what I think it happened, but the Bible doesn't say. But for sure, he say, if I have cheated, because he did, anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount. So if they cheated you with, just say income tax, $1,000, just say 2,000. Multiply by 4, you receive about $8,000 because they cheated you. So if Zacchaeus, he did your, he was IRS. I'm just saying, like he was like with the IRS and cheated you, and you're supposed to get back 2,000, but he would not give it to you. He will pay you 8,000 instead, 4 times the amount. Would you like that? Wow. And you see how the transformation goes when Jesus, and he start giving people the money. That's why I like the picture. Now I say, I don't know that age. I just found that was the right picture to like he's like, yes, I do have, I'm wealthy, and I remember I cheated you. I give you 4 times more. I cheated you. I give you more. As well, like half of his possession. So his possession, like give it to the poor. You see the poor with the sleeve like all torn apart, that he gives to that one who doesn't have enough to buy neither clothing. So it was a transformation. All right, verse 9. Jesus said to him, today, when he heard what he said, Jesus said, today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. Because the lost needs to be found. The one who is with Jesus, but the one is not needs to be found. And he was found. Zacchaeus was found. It's just, you know, Jesus likes when you are doing, I would say, an extra mile just to be with him. Like you're tired, but you wanna walk an extra mile, even though you're tired. Instead of going to sleep, you spend another half an hour, 50 minutes to pray, or just to be in his presence. Jesus likes that. And this was a case did. And not just that, salvation. He was saved that very day, because you see the transformation. The greediness fell off him, and he started giving half of his possession to the poor, and whoever cheated, he want to give 4 times on the top of that. He will give back. And that's the restoration. He restores because he want to make even now with everybody else, because the salvation fell on him. Wow, this is big. And So, what we learn from this specific teaching from the Bible, this specific passage, we learn that when we look and we search for Jesus and we go ahead of time, we go ahead and we'll do anything in our possession now, anything just to see, just to be with Jesus. We do anything um, just to be in his presence, just to see when he's passing through, and open the heart. And Jesus is there to receive him, and the transformation will be huge because your salvation has come and you'll be saved for eternity with Jesus. The end. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy it. Till next time, I say goodbye. Goodbye now.